Lekki-Epe corridor. The system is meant to alleviate congestion and enhance logistics in the Lekki Free Trade Zone. Now we have the Permanent Secretary of the Lagos State Ministry of Transportation, Maroof Olawale Musa, here with us. You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
First, I'm going to start this way. There's been a delay in the implementation of the e-collop system. Can you tell us the reasons why?
I won't say there's a delay. We've started.
Okay.
You know, it's in phases.
So it's in phases.
Yeah, it's in phases.
Okay.
Yeah, we are doing what we're doing now is the onboarding. All the stakeholders in that is we are bringing them into the system. Okay, so that when we commence fully, it becomes seamless. So we're having, you know, it has to do with technology. Like some of these gates already, that's the gates of these stakeholders, like for instance, Lekki Free Trade Zone, the port, Dangote Refinery, those are the big stakeholders there. Okay. They already have a system that they put in place that's working technically, but we want to onboard them into our own system so that our systems speak to each other. So when we have you're coming in, okay, we already know you will inform us that a truck is coming in, we see it. Okay. So what we are seeing, you also see it at your own platform too. So that's what we are doing right now, the onboarding process. So we've already commenced fully.
Okay, some of the opinion that this e-collop system was introduced in the Akoppa axis of Lagos and has, will I say, partially worked. Why bringing it back to the Lekki-Epe corridor? Is there anything different?
Yeah, it's sort of different. The one we have in Apapa is not from the Lagos State government. Okay. So but it's a system that has been put away. If people don't realize it, it has drastically reduced the congestion in that axis. I don't know if you can play back when we used to have traffic arrive even to Pangrove, okay? Then the other end, my two axis down to Isolo, all those ones. So if people say it's not working, it's not something that, you know, we have other issues in that axis. It's not just the truck coming in. There are some other technical issues that also needs to be worked on, okay? And right now, everything is being worked on to make sure that we get rid of that. The major issue, the major things you see, are the trucks. That is the fuel, the ones that we call the wet cargo. Okay, they are the major issues, and the challenge has always been because the call-off system brings a bit of cost, okay, to the stakeholders, whether we like it or not. It's a system that brings a bit of cost, and the question you will now ask is, who pays? They tell you that the petrol is regulated. That is, if you add a single kobo to it, there's an impact on the petrol prices. Okay. Now we have a deregulated system where, and majorly they don't go into the ports because inside the ports there is no fuel dispensing machinery in the ports. It's usually outside the port, very close to the port. Okay. This what do you call it? The all these what do we call it? They sell the load. Okay. It's not they don't load inside the port. Yes, okay. not inside the port itself. So the e-collop is for the port. It's not for those different entities that sell fuel to containers. So it becomes a bit complex because we can't have a system for each of those systems. But it's something we are working on, and very soon we are coming up with a program to ensure that area is totally cleansed of the traffic.
Now, a lot of people would also want you to break it down. When you say the e-collop system, a bit of technology, who are those that this is actually directed to? And I'm sure that this action by the Lagos State government is to ensure that the Lekki-Epe axis does not also witness what has happened in Apapa and does not replicate the kind of issues that it took a while to regulate in that area. So who are the people you're targeting on this Lekki-Epe axis with the e-collop system?
Okay, yeah, we are looking at it holistically. Okay. It's not just about the wet cargo trucks, because those are the ones that actually give us major issues. So the same thing, we are looking at the free trade zone, we are looking at the deep sea ports. Okay. So what we are trying to do is that we don't want anybody to come into that axis except you have business in that axis. Okay. So we have what we call the red zone. Okay, that is few kilometers through the port, around the port. We don't want to see any truck in that axis. What we expect you to do is, if you're coming towards that axis, you first of all go to because we involved the private sector, okay, to build the holding bay for the trucks. Yes, that is where they will stay. And this call-up system, what we are talking about is, we are going to call them off those holding bays to come into the red zone. And that is why we are speaking to each other. How do we know who is calling? Dangote Refinery needs 10 trucks, okay? Our system speaks to their system. We know where those trucks are. They also know where those trucks are. So we send a signal electronically to those centers. Okay, you can now come now, okay, right, to that axis. And we issue FID tag where you can check them on the road to be sure that you are actually called. So when they come in, so it could be maybe 10 at a go, depending on what the capacity is. So that's just the system. So we are looking at a way to have a situation where Apapa never repeats itself. Okay? That's our focus. Apapa should never repeat itself in the axis. Okay? There's a lot of investment in the axis, and it makes it meaningless if you can't get to your properties, if you can't get to your business, if people can't move in and out of where the hub, because whether we like it or not, that is the future hub of Lagos State, technically, when it comes economically. Because I don't see anywhere else where you see the type of development that's happening around that axis in Lagos. I don't see it happening anywhere. Okay, so there's a lot of investment happening in that area, and if you don't take care and need this in the board right from the beginning, it will become very rowdy, like what we had in Apapa.
So part of what, since, I mean, this is the inception and you're expecting that this would set a template for life on how that axis will work, have you also developed some kind of punishment process for any company or any truck that violates? Because again, people would always want to think of how to cut the process or how to manipulate the system. So are you also looking into that direction? If you're not called and you find your way into that system, definitely there will be consequences. So is that part of what you're also looking at the moment?
Yeah, any system, there is no form of enforcement that you will do if you also don't monitor the enforcers. Because what we are doing is that, yes, last month is already there. They have a base there. In fact, we also have VIS there. They also have a base there. And people ask, why do you have VIS? You see, just yesterday, you learnt of a truck that fell.
Yes,
okay. Why do this truck fall? It's because those trucks are not lashed. Okay. So, and you see them breaking down around the houses. The VIS will be there to ensure that any trucks that want to load meets the minimum safety standards. Okay. To be sure it's checked, to be sure that they can carry the load that they want to bear. Okay, that's for VIS. Last month is also majorly to enforce that you can't even come in if you don't have the RFID tag. Okay, we will check. You won't be able to access that axis without being called. What we are also going ahead to do is that we have a stakeholder monitoring committee of all other stakeholders. There's a committee there because it concerns everybody. Okay, if whether you like it or not, there is that tendency that people will compromise. Okay, if our staff compromise, the stakeholders will not also want to compromise because it's going to affect their business. So we have put in, we have been over this thing for close to 2 years because we've anticipated. Yes, we anticipated. It's a process that we want to ensure that it works, okay, and is sustainable. So we have done a lot to make sure that all those loopholes, okay, are tackled.
Okay, I'm glad you've talked about compliance itself. Is there any plans, of extending this like a call-up system to other parts of traffic-prone areas in Lagos?
Yeah, that system might not work in traffic-prone areas because it's different. Okay, every traffic situation has its own peculiarities. Like if you go to Oshodi, for instance, it's commuter, the commuter and vehicular interface. Okay, once you remove that interface, traffic is gone.
Right.
That is people moving and vehicle moving. Once you are able to remove those interfaces. So every traffic prone area has their own peculiarity. And majorly, I will tell you that is always the challenge. Is the commuter vehicular conflict that causes traffic most of the places. Go to Maitu, go to Oshodi, go to Yanopaja, go to Ikorodu. It's always people and vehicle, okay, competing with each other. Go to Aja, it's always that. So, and majorly, people will tell you it's yellow buses. It's not always the yellow buses. Because nowadays, because of the economic situation, you have a lot of people doing kabu-kabu. Okay, if you go to Oworo, anybody can go there, especially in the night. Check the number of vehicles that go into that lay-by. You see that they are all private vehicles. About 90% of the vehicles there are private vehicles. Why? It's because there is a loophole. The loophole is that there's not enough buses to move people. So you see people fitting into those loopholes. So, and those are some of the challenges that we face, and we try to address them.
Right. In terms of training, has the state government also collaborated with stakeholders to ensure that, especially the drivers, because some of them may not even understand English. Some of them may also have their own personal attitude coming from wherever they're coming from outside Lagos, and all they understand is go. And so are we also working with perhaps New Peng or other associations who are not those, in the core stakeholders to also ensure that they key in into this project?
Yeah, where is his core stakeholders? New Peng is a core stakeholder.
Right.
NURTW is a core stakeholder.
Okay.
Ritian is also a core stakeholder. There are people we've been discussing with, talking with. In fact, I'm glad you talked about training, and that is part of our onboarding process. We have to train them how to use the system, because they also have to be part of the system. So it's what we've been doing it for a while.
Right.
Okay, the training program, sensitization program, flyers in Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, Pidgin English. That's part of our process. It's part of the onboarding process. We've gone so far on that. Yeah.
But will training ever stop? Because there are times
no, it has to be continuous. It has to be continuous. You see, and I appreciate the fact that you understand the challenge, because 90% of the vehicles, especially the tankers, are not in Lagos, are not from Lagos. Right. 90% they come from other states, and it becomes very difficult. Some they don't even understand English. That's true. You speak broken, they don't understand it. So we need, and that is where we have this monitoring group, when we have these challenges. If, in fact, what we've done also, that the last officers that will be there, we want people that could speak different languages. Okay, so so that they can communicate when they have issues. So it's easy for us to understand each other, so that the driver and us can appreciate what we are trying to do. So we've done a lot of things. I tell you, we've done a lot. Everybody is positive that this can work, and they know that it is for their own good, for their business to thrive.
Okay, for those who are still having issues in understanding what this e-collop system, will do to improve traffic flow, especially in the Lekki-Epe corridor, I'd like you to take us through a step-by-step process at which, this system will work.
Okay, let me take. Because it's not only Dangote we have there, we have...
The Alaro...
the Alaro is off the axis, yes. Like, let me say, okay, the deep sea port.
Deep sea port, okay.
They are expecting like 30 people to come and pick their goods from that axis, like or to come and deliver.
30
because,
trucks.
Yes, 30 trucks. Okay. Their system already recognizes that these 30 trucks are coming. So before the trucks can come in, they will have signed into their own system, because the truth is, even any company, go to Coca-Cola there, okay, you can't just come in and bring goods. They will be expecting you. Okay, you have a way bill, all those stuff must have been done. So what we are doing is that we are doing that process electronically, so that they are already aware who is coming. We will see it, okay? We will see it. Okay, so the time when they are coming, they will tell us that so number of trucks are coming at so number of time. So we will release them from the holding base. Okay, that is okay. You can now start coming.
So you have no business even in the holding base if you know you're not going to be called.
You see, people don't know that the major causes of traffic in those areas, especially in Apapa, is because you have a lot of trucks coming there. They have no business being there.
They're just staying there.
They're just staying there. Yes,
until it is their
waiting
turn.
no, they don't. It's not even their turn.
They know they are not supposed to be there.
No,
They'll just come and stay.
So they
it's not
just
their
stay
turn.
there.
They are looking for business. Okay,
Waiting for
a lot of them. Yes, they are looking at okay, who has LPO, you know, to
sell
carry
or
fuel.
right.
Okay, so we now start
available.
transacting. I'm available to help you carry your fuel. That's what they do. So what we want to do, that's majorly that's the challenge. So we want to prevent them from coming. Okay, we are not stopping you from doing your business. If I have LPO, I'll come and meet you at the holding bay. Okay, we'll transact. Okay, then from there, we inform Dangote, for example, that you are coming. Okay, Dangote can now tell us that you are coming. Okay. Then we will let you in. Right. It's a simple process.
So would you also, will this be restricted, or it can be any time of the day?
It's 24 hours.
It's 24 hours. So the night facility?
It's 24 hours. Okay. It runs 24 hours. Right. Because if we follow our rules, the trucks are not even supposed to move during the day.
Right.
Okay. And the challenge we have been having in implementing that is that, okay, when they release them from the port in the morning, where do they stay till night?
Then.
Okay, so they will move out of the ports, but they won't be able to go anywhere. Okay, that means they say end up staying on the road. Okay, so we are finding a way of even resolving that, because it's something me and my commissioner discussed yesterday about. They're supposed to be moving at social time. How do we start implementing that? But that challenge is still there. So we are looking for a way to resolve that challenge to ensure that they can never be on the road.
Okay, so a follow-up to that will be, if it is 24 hours and we're also looking at the fact that they should actually move at night, are you also going to inculcate the business of ensuring that their systems, I mean their lights, brakes, everything work perfectly at night? Because again, sometimes we understand that these guys are also very lackadaisical when it comes to taking care of their trucks. So is this one of the things that you also ensure are in the best conditions to travel at night?
That is our minimum safety standards that we talked about. Those are things VIS will be there to check. They check their light, they check their brakes, they check their so many things. Because apart from brakes, you know, some of these vehicles, they use hydraulic, all those things we need to check it's not leaking, all those safety issues. Okay, we have to check before they can even go
into the.
They won't be released from the holding base, except they meet those standards. And also tell you, these stakeholders, Dangote, they also have their own safety standards too.
Right.
Okay, that they have to meet. So they will first of all meet our own standards. Okay, then before they can go into the port to go and load. So those are part of our program.
Okay.
Okay, talking about stakeholders, we're looking at the people who live the community there. Has there been any kind of awareness or sensitization or any form of meeting with them to understand this new system that is being introduced?
Yeah, you see, right from the beginning, we've been involving the community. In fact, the two local government chairmen that as this, they've been to our offices. We have had meetings with these stakeholders together. We've had meetings at their end, at that Lekki end, the stakeholders meeting, engage them because if we don't get their cooperation, we are going to have, they can jeopardize whatever we do. And whether we like it or not, the impact of our failure, God forbid, will also be on them because they will also not be able to move around freely. So it's something we have been collaborating right from the onset. So the chairman are on board, the community leaders they are on board. We've been discussing. Our discussion has been very, very robust, very, very.
Right. So stakeholders, I'm sure the security agencies will also be part of those stakeholders. Aside the fact that you have LASNA and VIS, are the police also involved in any way?
Everybody is in it. Okay. Everybody. Let me tell you, if that place works, it's for the good of everybody. Right. It's for the good of commerce. It's for the good of businesses. It's for the good of every man on the road. Because what that does is that it reduces the pressure in Apapa. Okay, and you know Epe is very close to Ijebu. Anybody going to the east is closer. And in the future, we are going to have our airport there, around the Aziz too. So we don't want that problem, because I'm not sure the airport is going to come up in the next 2 years. So when the Aziz takes off fully, we don't want that challenge to now also meet the airport issue. You understand, whether you like it or not, that means you also have a lot of traffic coming into those areas. So we have seen it. We've seen the challenges and we're tackling them head on.
Okay. All right, let's quickly look at a few other transportation issues in Lagos. I mean, a few days from now, it will be December 1. And we're always very worried about attitude of road users, especially drivers, especially the commercial drivers, during the Ember months. And so what is your ministry doing at ensuring that the roads are safe and for the motoring public, and the drivers, especially in various motor parks in Lagos, also comply with rules and regulations?
You see, the compliance issue is a big issue. Okay. Especially because members of the public always, I don't know if you've noticed, they're always on the side of those drivers. I saw something on social media where a driver attempted to douse himself and a last mile officer for committing traffic offense. Do you know what happened? They started pursuing the last mile officers. So the truth is, do members of the public give these men confidence to do their job? The driver is wrong on the road.
Was it the one that happened around Ojota?
No, I think it's around mile 2. Yes. The driver is wrong, parked on the road. He had passengers inside those vehicles. And he attempted to douse himself in petrol. Yes. And at the end of the day, they were pursuing the traffic officers.
Yes, yes, I saw the
Nobody is saying this is a madman, that we have to deal with him. Help those last mile officers to do their job. But every time they pursue the traffic officer, you embolden these drivers. Okay. When you see a driver passing one way, he's carrying 18 passengers, for God's sake. Nobody is talking, they're comfortable about it. But when there's an accident caused by that driver, they say, what were they like? The thing irritates me when they say, and last night we're there, and they are doing nothing. You see maybe 2 or 3 people, 18 passengers supporting the driver, 18 driver, that's 20 people against already. 2. Right. And that's just one vehicle. They have like 10 vehicles there, 2 people will be there. But if everybody decide that we want this state to be orderly, okay, we make sure that these people obey the rules. You make the job of the last mile officers easy. Yeah. But that aside, what we've been doing is that, you see, we normally know where this traffic build up during this period. Like for instance, if you go to mile 12, there's always traffic around this period because of people bringing foodstuff and all those.
To the market.
So what we do is that we hold a stakeholders meeting with them, okay, and we station more men into that axis. Okay. So those axes where we have these challenges, we call the people concerned, okay, the geologists, if need be, then the drivers, if need be, so that we can work together. Okay, we can arrange them, they can be orderly. Like I use the instance of mile 12. So you don't come in at a go, okay? Right. Stay off, okay? Then you can now start coming. It's more of like a call-up system, but it's not as technologically driven. Okay, so they can now start coming. So we are focused on that, and we just continue to ask our people to cooperate with the officers on the road. It's not always easy for them. Not always easy.
Sorry, let me just build up on that. I'm going to ask you this because I know that you've been the GM of Last Mile before, so you understand the dynamics in that system. But then people have also complained about some officers of Last Mile who are high-handed and who've one way or the other also emboldens the drivers because of the kickbacks and all of that. So what do you have to say about that? And I know that many times the state government has also punished officers who've been found wanting. But can we bridge the gap between lawlessness from the drivers and some alleged extortion from some officers?
Whether I like it or not, there are, for every 10 disciples, there will be Judas. You understand? You always have people like that. You understand? And I know last month, just last week, we dismissed, okay, we recommended for dismissal about 10 officers. I was the chairman of that panel. Okay, we have forwarded it to the Civil Service Commission for necessary action. It's something we continually do. Okay. But we have to have people report. And we appreciate people reporting, okay? And most of the time, if you don't report and you go on social media, the officer is aware we won't be able to investigate because the officer is also on social media. He asks people on social media. What did they do? They seize and desist from their houses. So it's very difficult for us to go and investigate to catch them because it's a matter of law. If we don't have evidence against them, we cannot do anything. Right. You understand? They will, if we dismiss them without evidence, they will go to court. We have. Let me tell you, I had an incident where somebody was dismissed 10 years. Went to court. Won. And court said we should pay them the salary for 10 years.
Wow.
Not only that, the promotion that the officer was supposed to, we should also. So we have to do the right thing, otherwise we end up losing in court. So we need people to tell us clandestinely so that they are not aware. But when you go on social media, keep posting, okay, it gives us an issue because it makes it difficult for us to investigate. And we have the machinery, we have the phone numbers, we have so many machinery. You can come in, you come into our office and report a last month officer. They already know that they are in trouble. You understand? Because I don't stand, in discipline I don't stand for it. Right. And we do a lot, okay? But most of the time, when people see a last month officer and a union member, for example, like talking, it doesn't mean they are in court.
They just assume that
let me tell you
partners.
the truth. From my own experience, they are there always. They are not enemies now. That is where they work. The union member works there. Last month officer works there. So they will see each other every day. And the truth is, let me tell you, I've had an incident right here in Motorways Plaza where an officer newly posted there wasn't technically cooperating. When I say cooperating, I don't know what that means because that's what he told me. On his way home, they waylaid him and beat him up.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so sometimes it's not always easy for them to. So you have to manage between being strict and being friendly. When you are over friendly, that's when it becomes issue. Okay, but you need to do your job, be fair. Okay, but you should also need to be firm. So it's not always easy. A lot of people complain about a lot of things, but when you're on the road, it's a different ball game. I'll tell people, everybody is mad when they're on the road. The driver is mad, the passengers are mad. The last month officer about madness. You understand?
And somebody needs to be sane.
It's difficult to be sane. Also, let me tell you, this year, and I keep telling people this, they don't know what these men go through. 29 last month officers have died.
This year alone? This
year alone. 29. Just last week, 29 person died. Not just from accidents and everything, illness and everything. It's not always easy. Look at this sun. The type of sun that can fry dodo. And you are in it for 8 hours. You understand? If you don't want to be mad, the sun will make your head mad. So it's not always easy.
They are humans.
They are human beings. So you expect you will be angry on the road and you expect them to be sane. You are not sane, you expect them to be sane. It's not always easy. Okay, but what we tell them, and we do training every week. We do about 100 last month officers. We do training for them on the need for them to be civil. Civility. You can be angry, but you need to be civil. Civility, very, very important.
Okay, I want to go back to that case scenario that happened at Maltu. And you said the main issue is people not having, this trust, especially with uniformed men. So what is the ministry or the agency, or what can they do in order to ensure that, residents start to gain trust, in this?
What we've set up a system where you can lay complaints. You understand? And if you lay complaints, it is when you don't see us act, that's where you feel that they will continue to misbehave. But I can assure you that if you lay complaints, we can investigate and find out it is true, then the last officer is gone, technically. But people don't take that time to come and complain. And it's very easy for them to go on social media to lay complaints rather than going to our official channel. Okay, it's where we have those. We have last map provost.
Maybe you put the official channel to social media. That's the easiest access.
I know the Citizens Gate is one of the channels.
Yes. We have so many channels. Last man has their own channel. Lagos State government has their own channel. Even we as MOT, we have the transport monitoring and investigation. Okay, it does not just investigate last man. Okay. All our agencies investigating them. But if you don't come and complain to us, so, do you know the truth is, also on social media, we monitor social media. Okay, I'm very, very active on social media. Issues that people bring up,
you also
look into it. That's the truth. But like I said, it becomes very, very difficult to investigate, especially when there's no proof. Because if they know when you mention the place this happened, the officer concerned knows. They move. In fact, for the next 1 month, they might not even go to the houses. You understand? Or they begin to comport themselves because they know that we are going to move in. Okay? So they begin to comport. But if you report to us directly, yes, they continue to misbehave, and that's where we can catch them red-handed.
All right. I know that a lot of Lagos residents or the road users also have issues with last mile officers. It's usually last mile officers and the yellow and the downfalls really that have problems. Are they also allowed to drive the downfalls if there's an infraction? And in that situation, can residents take a video of that incident and send in that happens?
Taking video, I've seen, unfortunately, incidences where last mile officers prevent people from taking their videos.
Yes.
And here is wrong.
Okay.
I'm doing something. I'm not doing anything wrong.
Right.
Why shouldn't?
Because there are
why can't you take my video?
Broken phones.
Yes. But what normally happens is this. You see, people look at a scenario like when the incidents happen, you are not there to know when it started.
Okay.
You just go there, take videos of in between and post it. There's a beginning and there's an end.
Right.
We don't see those. So in those in between, you take the videos and people start discussing it, talking bad about the issue, but you don't know what actually transpired. Okay. It's a story. Right. Okay, there's a beginning, there's an end. Let me give you an instance. Now, the story I talked about that guy that tried to douse himself. People did not know the beginning. The vehicle is carrying a plate that is not registered. Now, the commuters that are in that vehicle are in danger. If anything happens, you cannot trace the owner of that vehicle. They are in danger. So last man going there are trying to prevent crime, technically. Because for you not to have your vehicle registered, where did you even get the plate number? It's a crime on its own. So they are trying to prevent a crime. That is one. Two, he doubts himself. Is he not technically insane? Because if he is able, let me tell you, we know where the guy is. He has been running away, moving from one place to the other. We know his house. We know where his wife and children live. We have investigated. We don't come out to tell people some of the things we do. He ran to Ota for medical treatment. We traced him to that place. But the guy cannot even walk.
Wow.
As I'm telling you, I have video evidence. He didn't know that we're there. Okay? He can't even walk. And what was his offense? I'm sure he has spent thousands of naira on himself. Okay? So when you see all this happening, okay, it's a bit difficult for us when we don't have the support of the people. Right. We need the people to continue to support our officers. Yes, some of them will misbehave. Our children misbehave. We don't kill them now. We will be praying for them that it will be better. Husband will misbehave. Abi, husband will misbehave. You will still go back. Your wife will misbehave. Abi, even your boss, your people working with you will misbehave. It's like that. Right. If people will continue to misbehave, I will begin to correct them. When people begin to understand this, yes, it makes things easier for our men on the road.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yes, I also have one observation. Most times on my own axis, I'm going to limit it to my own axis.
Where's your axis first?
This axis, Agidingbi.
Okay.
To Ogba. I noticed that, sometimes this, it looks as if these last mile officials are working with this commercial vehicle owners or drivers, because most times they flout traffic rules, such as traffic lights. They run past it and they're just there looking. They don't do anything.
I love, you see, that's what I say. I hate people saying. Okay, a vehicle that is first, let's look at it this way. The driver is already lawless. Broke traffic lights. What should last mile do? Start running after that vehicle? Because impossible. I have a VIS officer that his leg was amputated because of what you are saying. He drove over the VIS officer. His leg was amputated. no matter the amount we pay that officer, cannot replace the leg. So you see, so what we do, most people don't know. Last time officers gather their evidence. And what they do is that, you see, you don't arrest in the area of comfort of the offender. You arrest when they are vulnerable.
When they've forgotten about the
Yes. That's what we do.
When their guards are down.
I hope you are listening.
So, because at that moment, especially in the area where they feel they are powerful, they will beat the last man officers now. I remember when we went to enforce in a Baga, Special Advisor, Commissioner, Police, when these people came.
What did you do?
If you see the way people were running, but we stood our ground.
Wow.
We stood there because I'm there, and we had the numbers.
Right.
It's easy for us to stand our ground. Well, 2 people, 3 people. I know.
Then we beat them blue-black. Let's also quickly talk about one of the latest initiatives from the ministry, and that is on the interstate park accreditation system. What is this all about?
Yeah, firstly, we want to bring safety. Okay, it's all about safety, nothing else. It's all about safety and compliance. Now, you see people entering buses on the road. They give excuses that our park are dirty. You understand that they give excuses that they are not encouraged to go into the parks. So what we are doing is that, and you see all these parks springing up everywhere. And it has its own attendant implication. So what we're doing is that for you to be an interstate park, you must be registered.
Okay.
Firstly. Then when you are registered, you must meet certain standards. Okay? And those standards borders on providing conveniences, sitting area, eating area, and no selling of drugs or alcohol and those others. So in the same vein, we are going to have passenger manifest. It's being done on the standard parks already, but we are just going digital. It's something that is being done. Right. Interstate parks is being done.
They'll give you the
yes, we are just going digital. Okay, and for us to also keep records. So because what they are doing is in paper, who keeps those records? Okay, and that is just the major issue. So and going forward too, it's going to be easy for me as an individual. I'm going to Onitsha, I'm going to Kano. Where is the nearest park to me? I can go online. So the services provided by those parks, because not all, some only go to the east, some only go to the north. You know, some is a mixture. Okay, so it's easy for me to say, I'm in the Keja, I'm going to Kano. Okay, where can I get vehicle going to Kano? Okay, I can go online, search. Okay, and it's easy for me, the nearest place to me. So it's just bringing sanity into the system. It's no big deal. Right. We've been doing it. We are just digitalizing it and standardizing the process. Okay.
Right. So before we allow you to go this morning, what will be your charge to road users, especially as the Yuletide comes in? Although we do not know if we're going to have a dirty December yet because of the economy.
And party stopped in Lagos.
Lagosians will always find
their way.
And that's why we say this is Lagos.
This is Lagos.
That is different.
And that's what makes Lagos different. So what will be your charge to road users?
Firstly, let us realize the fact that, you see, that road is what brings everybody together. Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, tall, short, yellow, black, rich, poor. Everybody converges on the road. We come with their different mentality, different complexities on the road. Firstly, we need to be patient with each other because Lagosians are always in a hurry. And please, that traffic officer that we put on the road, you employ that person. Let them do their job. Okay. Have trust that they will do their job. That's because if you have a maid and you don't allow the maid to do their job, you continue paying salary. The person will still continue getting salary. It doesn't stop. So the same thing, if you don't allow them to do their job, the rules will be in chaos. Have trust in them, obey them, and everything will be okay.
Okay, and then of course the commitment of the Ministry of Transportation.
Yeah, we are going to ensure that this Yuletide period is safe, traffic is free, although traffic has now been free basically because of
yeah.
so it has made our job, in fact,
easier.
I can't say I'm happy the fuel price is going up because it's affecting me.
It's affecting everyone.
Affecting everybody.
You are saying it's affecting you. Uncle.
I need to buy fuel. So it has really helped. I have to be sincere.
Yeah.
It has really helped reduce the traffic.
Yeah.
I won't say I want it to increase more. I will say.
To make your job easier.
I didn't say it too, but it has really helped. Okay, but we are committed to ensuring that people can drive freely on the road, and our men are doubling their efforts to ensure that we limit the traffic congestion and those major axes. Okay. I'm sure this December is going to be beautiful.
It's going to be beautiful.
Thank you very much, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Transportation here in Lagos State, Maroof Olawale Musa, and he's talked about the e-collop system along the Lekki-Epe corridor and other transportation issues here in Lagos. We hope you enjoyed this conversation. We'll be right back after the short break.